Hey friends, it's Naszubro, and Happy New Year! Hope you guys had a restful and relaxing holiday if you had time off, spent time with family or friends or whatever you celebrate, or if you were working, hope you made a fat stack of cash from some holiday pay or something like that. Either way, I hope it was a good December for you guys. I just wanted to make a video sort of laying out my plan for this still pretty small YouTube channel because I've got some ideas and I think they're exciting, and I hope you guys feel the same. If you've been paying attention to my channel, it's been a bit since my last video, which was all the way at the beginning of December with the trading post review. December was pretty busy for me with work and also family stuff, as you might imagine, so I decided to take a little break from making videos so I could come back swinging later. Although, making videos isn't the only thing that I've been taking a break from. I've also been taking a break from just playing World of Warcraft in general. Now this isn't like a, oh, I don't think the game is good anymore break or anything. Now is around the time I usually step away from the game anyway. When a new expansion comes out, I usually go hard for launch in Season 1, playing almost every day, collecting new stuff, gearing my character, with my main goal usually just to finish the normal raid. I'm not really somebody who tries to push heroic that often. None of my closest friends play MMOs at all, so I don't really have anyone I'm close to play with, and I am in a guild, although it is pretty sleepy, but I don't want to leave because the people that are there are really cool. So usually normal raid is kind of like my pinnacle goal for any given season of WoW that I'm playing. I also like to then finish off any reps that are available at launch, which I guess these days would now just be renowns. Usually around the smaller content patches that are in between big patches is when I feel like I'm a bit tired of the game and step away for a while to come back later when I do feel like playing again. In this case, probably once Undermine drops or at least a little bit afterwards. I did the same thing in Dragonflight where I took a break just before the Forbidden Reach patch came out, and then returned a bit later after 10.1 with Zaralek and Aberrus. I played that patch for a good while trying to get Naszubro, and despite this channel's name, I didn't actually get lucky enough to get it. Once I'd finished all I wanted to, I played a bunch of the Dawn of the Infinite patch, leveled up some characters, and then took another break, and then came back a bit later for 10.2, which I think is when I got the Lore Master achievement that I have been working on for a while now. I'm not entirely sure when I got that, I don't quite remember. If you are feeling tired of the game though like me, it's always a great idea to just take a break, so you don't end up hating the game because you're forcing yourself to play it every day. So as you can see, I'm not exactly a hardcore player, and I'm just not someone who can permanently play WoW no matter what content is out at the time. I do need to take breaks every now and then. Now that does also mean that while I'm taking a break, I naturally just don't feel like talking about the game as much, or watching as many videos, or reading lore or anything. And now that also means I'm just not feeling up to making videos specifically about World of Warcraft only right now. So I've run into a bit of a problem that when I first made this channel, I didn't think about. If you go back to my earliest videos, you'll see that I've experimented with a few different types of videos to see where I feel like I could fit and what kind of content I would enjoy making. I started with weekly news videos, but those were brutal for me since I still have to work my normal 9 to 5, you know. I tried shifting a bit to other types of videos like theories and speculation and lore type videos as well, which I actually really do enjoy making. That Harrenir video I made still far eclipses anything else I've done by like 100 miles. So I've tried a few things, but didn't take into account that I would eventually just not be wanting to play WoW as much or make videos about it sometimes. I don't want to try to force myself either because that means worse videos for you guys and burnout for me, so what's my solution? Well, the solution for me is to make videos about other stuff alongside WoW content. Now I understand that most, maybe all of you guys subscribe to this channel as a Warcraft YouTube channel, and you came here looking for Warcraft content. There will still be Warcraft content, but it just won't be the sole focus. And if you don't like that, then that's completely fine. You can unsubscribe if you want, and I won't hold it against you. No hard feelings, I promise. If you're willing to stick around, I do have some types of videos that I think would be fun to make and watch. You see, I was born and raised for the first 13 years of my life down in South Africa. It's where my family is from. Down there, while I was growing up, there wasn't really a huge culture for gaming. Not like how it was in other parts of the world, and not like it was here in the United States where I live now. That means that as a kid, there were a ton of extremely high-profile, well-loved, and legendary games that I never actually got to play. And after learning about the evolution of games and just more about the industry while living in the US since we moved here, I've developed something of an enormous and pretty varied backlog of both well-known genre-defining games and then maybe lesser-known 6 or 7 out of 10s that I've always wanted to play. Using RPGs as an example, I'm talking about huge heavy hitters like the original Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Trigger, and even stuff like Dragon Age. So I've decided to make a series of games tackling older releases to see what's up and give my thoughts on playing them for the first time in the modern day. It won't just be old games from like 15 to 20 years ago either. Even super recent releases like Black Myth Wukong or Balatro are games that I haven't played yet. So there would be games from all over that I could make videos about, although mostly RPGs since I do love those the most. I've even gotten my first game for this backlog series planned, since I have been playing it throughout a pretty big chunk of December. And funny enough, it is another MMO, although a much older one. And that game is Final Fantasy XI. I've been trying to fill the holes in the Final Fantasy series for years of games that I haven't played. And since I had some time in December, I thought now would be the perfect time to try to get to grips with this older and by some standards impenetrable MMO, so I can play through its story as best I can and check off 11 from the long list of FFs that I still need to play, which includes 5 through 9, 12, and the 13 games. Yes, I do still want to play the 13 games despite their reputation. It was a few hours into playing 11 that I got the idea to turn it into a video. So while I don't have footage of my first few days playing, there wasn't too much happening that I would say is important. So yeah, my first video for this backlog series will be on Final Fantasy XI. If you're an 11 veteran, then I hope you'll consider sticking around for my thoughts on this game. In the words of Yoshi P, please look forward to it. Now all of you WoW enjoyers, like I mentioned, this won't be the end of WoW content. I do still have some ideas as well, like how I dove into Fresh Start Classic more than I have ever played Classic before. And while I only made it to about level 30 so far before deciding that I needed to take a break from WoW in general, I still think that I want to make a video on Classic sometime in the future. I hope you guys understand why I'm shifting course a bit, and like I said, it's totally okay for you to unsub if you feel like you don't want to stick around. There are plenty of WoW creators out there who could use your support as well. If you do want to see what I can come up with, then let me know in the description what older games from years you would love to see me cover in the backlog. I'll definitely keep an eye on suggestions. Expect to see a bunch more Final Fantasy titles, but it won't be all that. I just do love the Final Fantasy series. If you have any friends you think would be interested in these kinds of videos, especially with the first one being FF11, then let them know to check it out once it releases. If you're familiar with 11, I do still need to play through all the expansion stories from Zillart onwards, so it will be a little bit, but I did grind all the way to level 99 already, hoping that now that I'm geared a little bit, I can kind of just plow through the story one after the other in the correct order. Hopefully unobstructed, if that's even possible. Anyways, let's hope for a grand 2025, and I hope you decide to stick around. Other than that, if you made it to the end of this video, you're a legend. Drop a like if you think any of my ideas that I've talked about sound cool, and subscribing would mean the world to me. Until next time, stay safe, bros.